There you go. And again, we'll repeat this, and you can come again. It's not that you can only come once. We'll do this again next Wednesday at a little bit later time, 7 p.m. So after yin and unwind, not this Wednesday, but the following Wednesday, we'll do another pop-up. So you can come both times. But I wanted to just talk to you for a few minutes about what mindful moments is. I know some of you maybe did it in the past. It will be similar, but a little bit different. And then we'll take, 5 or 10 minutes at the end just to kind of experience a little bit of that mindfulness. So this go round, what we're going to do is each session, you're going to kind of get a 3-parter. So we'll get a breathing technique. There's various types of breathing that we can do to help kind of settle our mind, if you will. You'll get more of a strategy. It might be a meditation. It might be like mantra. It might be touch. It might be vagal nerve activation. Because sometimes the breath, and I'm going to talk about the brain here in just a second, but sometimes the breath in and of itself isn't quite strong enough to kind of snap us out of that sympathetic nervous system, that fight or flight. So you're going to get kind of two different kinds of tools. And then this go around each session, we will do a yoga nidra. So you'll get a good solid 20-minute yoga nidra. So each session will be kind of 30 to 35 minutes long. So a technique and then a yoga nidra. All of it will be videoed. And you'll get to keep that forever. You'll get the links after each meeting. So if you can't make it live, you'll get the link right away. But then at the end of the session, I'll send all those links out to you again, so you have them in one handy place. So why do this? Why have breathing techniques? Why have more of kind of a more concrete type technique? Well, our brains, and you probably know this, so it might be review for many of you, but we have different parts of our brain, and are sometimes referred to as like our downstairs brain. It is lower in the portion of the brain. It's kind of inside above the brain stem is our amygdala. That is often referred to as our reptilian brain, or people will call it our downstairs brain. It is our brain that is more on instinct. And so we are wired to have this fight or flight type of instinct. Just like all animals in the animal kingdom, right? The zebra is being chased by the lion. The instinct of the zebra is to run, get away, maybe possibly freeze and play dead, but survival instinct. Well, what happens in kind of our modern society, especially, is we don't live in a society where there's like danger, boom, danger's gone. Right? We began to perceive kind of our pace, our lifestyle, that work deadline as danger. And if you have a type of job where there's another deadline, another deadline, another deadline. So we get in this cycle of kind of sympathetic nervous system, this run, this flight, this shut down. And so what we want to be able to do, that's our amygdala. And when I teach this to kids, we call her Bossy Amy. And our amygdala really is just trying to protect us. That is our amygdala's job. Bossy Amy's job is to protect us. But the problem is sometimes she perceives a threat that's not really a threat. And once she kind of gets into her being, her cycle, the floodgates are open, right? And then we start to feel that stress response, which can be in a fast heartbeat. It can manifest in like an upset stomach, right? Because if we really had to flee a tiger, our body wants to empty itself of everything that's going to hold it back. That's why we oftentimes will have like digestive issues, diarrhea, things like that. The body wants to empty that so you can flee. So these techniques help shift us from our downstairs brain, our reptilian brain, our amygdala, into what we might refer to as our upstairs brain, more of our prefrontal cortex. So with kids, we call that the wise one. So our prefrontal cortex is developed later. In fact, it's not fully developed in people oftentimes till the 21 to 25-ish. That's why teenagers often take part in high risk behavior, because their wise one isn't always completely developed till, mid 20s. So we want to shift from that amygdala into our prefrontal cortex, that place where when we're having these stress feelings, this fight or flight, when we're in our prefrontal cortex, we can think a little bit more logically versus instinct, a fight, flight, or freeze. So the techniques are what get us there. Breathing techniques work great. Sometimes, however, they might not be enough to kind of distract us, because what we're trying to do is kind of distract Amy, distract her so we can move into more of this calm body state, this parasympathetic nervous system. So that's why we often will do things like tapping, mantras, and various other techniques that we will go over in the 4 weeks, 8-session time period. So sometimes you'll find kind of that more concrete strategy can start to shift us so that we can then bring the breathing technique in. Sometimes the breathing's enough, right? And we're all different. So different techniques are going to work differently for different people. So over 8 sessions, right, you're going to get 8 breathing techniques. You're going to get 8 kind of strategies. And then yoga nidra, I'll talk about that in just a second, is going to come in all 8 sessions as well, because every technique, what works best for me may not work best for you. So we get a variety of things to do. Now, might be thinking, well, I've done this in the past, so I really don't need to do it again. And so my question would be to you or to anyone, are you using the techniques on a very regular basis that you've learned in past mindful moment sessions? And if the answer is yes, and they're working for you and you're doing them kind of daily and using them when you need them, then you probably don't need mindful moments necessarily. Again, doesn't mean you can't do it. It's fabulous, right? We always learn something new every time we do something. But what I find, even with myself, someone that teaches this, if I get away from it for a little while, like we haven't done mindful moments in 6 months, if I get away from it, I kind of stop using them, right? And then the body kind of goes back into this old way of Amy being bossy. And, then I'm like, oh, I'm stressed, I'm anxious, I'm all of these different things. So it really is something just like, to get strong biceps, we got to work our biceps every single week. If we work them once and we never do it again, our biceps aren't going to be strong. So it really is something that we should do over and over again. Yoga Nidra, that is the third piece that you will get. Yoga Nidra is designed to really kind of take us into this subconscious place. It's like a deeper and different kind of rest than sleep. And it is a guided, very kind of scripted, guided format that will allow your body to completely rest. You get that a little bit in Tuesday and Wednesday when we call it our Yin and Unwind Plus. But you're getting about 10 minutes. It really takes more than that. Kind of the recommended is 20 minutes as bare minimum. So it's not that 10 doesn't work, but this is going to be a full, deep yoga nidra. And then you'll have those videos as well that you can listen to over and over again. So those are kind of the pieces that you're going to get in this round. We will meet twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I wish that I could set a time that would absolutely work for everyone's schedule. We know that doesn't work, but we do record them and you will get those recordings, as well as I also send out other little goodies, little journal activities and things that you can use to take these lessons further. So I want to take a moment here to kind of offer you the time to, if you have any questions, and then if not, we'll do just kind of a brief little mindfulness to finish up today. So anyone have any questions? And it's okay if you don't, but I'm going to wait, they say wait 30 to 60 seconds because sometimes it takes a moment to have a question come. And you can ask it. Yeah, Fran, you can unmute yourself and ask it, or you can type it in the chat box. You just are unmuted, so you'll just need to unmute. There we go. Yeah.
What days and times are there?
So yeah, we'll meet in the month of May So the first kind of 4 weeks of May, let me glance at my calendar. What is our start date? Is Tuesday, May the 3rd. So we'll meet the 4 Tuesdays, the 4 Thursdays, from at 6 p.m. So basically like 6 p.m. to 6:30-ish p.m. We might go a little bit over Tuesday and Thursday, those first 4 weeks of May. So there is Tuesday, the 31st of May. We won't meet on that. But those first 4 weeks of May on Tuesday and Thursday. Nice.
What time do we start on Tuesday?
It's the same for both. So 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Okay.
I think you mentioned that you do it 2 different times a year. When you do it the other time in the year, is it typically at the same time, or do you ever offer it a little earlier?
We've done it at different times in the past. And the time that seems to fit the most people's schedule has been Tuesday, Thursdays at 6 p.m. We've done it on Sundays before, and we weren't getting a lot of people come in. The other reason we kind of pick those 2 times is to not interfere with classes. So on Tuesday and Thursdays, the classes are over. I think there may be one of those days the class may go a little bit past that, like 6:05. But yeah, we tried to fit within kind of the general class schedule. I'm not opposed to trying other times. We've tried like a Thursday morning time, but that didn't go over real well either. I'm open to suggestions and feedback for when we run it again in October. I'm not set in stone on Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's just been kind of historically in the couple of, we've been doing this about 3 years now. That those have been the times the most people have been available, kind of for both coasts, right? Because people are off work on the West Coast, but it's not so late on the East Coast that everybody may be asleep.
It's really late on the East Coast. I'm asleep by then, but that's fine. I get it. There aren't as many East Coasters in VFit, so.
Yeah, and it just makes it, if I move it earlier, because I couldn't do it from like the 5 to 6 p.m. West Coast time because there's classes then. So the other option would be like this time period, the 4:30. And then so many West Coasters are like, we're still at work. But when we do it again in October, I can look at maybe doing one day at 4:30 and the other day at 6 p.m. So at least we kind of split the difference. I understand that is my only like difficulty with anything is that we're multiple time zones. Any other questions? All right. Well, let's at least we're kind of right at that 15-minute mark. And I said I'd try to keep it within 15 to 20-ish minutes. Up, Fran's got a question. Yes.
Yeah. How much is it again?
It is $79, and that's like the flat rate. But if you are a returner or a Connect member, you get 20% off of that. Yes. And then non-members can do it as well. And I think the non-member price is set at $99. So you do get, that discount, but feel free to, share it to people that aren't members also. Awesome. Perfect. All right. Well, I do want to leave you with at least a little bit of kind of like relaxing goodness. So if you're driving, keep your eyes open and keep driving. If you're just in the car riding, you're welcome to close your eyes, but I invite you to kind of shift around a little bit, find a bit of a comfortable position. Take a moment, take an inhale and a sighing exhale. This is a good way to start any type of kind of meditation, just letting it out. Bringing your awareness into your breath. Notice it, feel it, hear it. I call that ujjayi breathing, breath of sound. Just allowing your mind to release the busyness, the thoughts, and just think. Breathe. 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 And I'm going to simply read you several affirmations. And I just invite you to hear the words and notice what visualization might come up as you hear the words, allowing yourself to experience the words. I believe in sudden positive changes. I expect miracles to happen daily. The best is yet to come for me. I will keep going. I will keep my heart open to happiness and abundance. I will show up and give my best. I view my life situations as opportunities to grow and discover who I am. I invite you, if any of those affirmations kind of stuck with you, to maybe repeat it or a version of it. Or maybe your own affirmation. Your I am statement. Repeat it over and over, either in your head or aloud. And feel it, see it, be it. The more we focus on positive statements, positive affirmations, the more those neural connections are strengthened. It's much like a trail. If we always walk the same path through the grass, that grass gets worn down and that trail gets developed, and it's easy to follow that path. If one path is positivity, light, joy, and the other path is more of a negative, a beat ourselves down, whichever path we travel, whichever one we go to the most in our thoughts, it's going to become the one that's easier to follow. So choosing positive affirmation each and every day, even when your eyes first open. Maybe you have a list or you have a few right on your nightstand that you start with every morning. That path gets stronger. Take a few more moments here with your positive affirmation, something similar to what I read to you, or maybe something completely different. Take a few more minutes with it, repeating it, feeling it, believing it, seeing it, being it. And I invite you to bring your awareness back to your breath. Notice it. Bring your awareness into your fingers and toes. Just gently move them. Just bringing yourself back into your physical body, into the here and now. When you're ready, you can bring the palms of your hands together. Lift your thumbs to your heart. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste. So that was just a brief technique that can be used to shift us into our parasympathetic mindset. Thank you so much. I will see you in classes, and I'll fit grid out the link and everything afterwards. So if you are interested in signing up, you'll have that. Signups go the next 2 weeks. We will try to wrap up signups at the end by Friday, April 29th, Saturday, April 30th, because then we will get started that very next week. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to reach out to me, and I will be happy to try to answer them to the best of my ability. Thanks, everybody. Have a great afternoon, evening.